high-end name you know and love, one we invited into our homes every Sunday evening for many, many years. Roma Downey is an Emmy-nominated actress who has been creating inspirational content for some 25 years. She's perhaps best known for her role as the kind-hearted angel Monica on the popular network show Touched by an Angel. With her husband, Mark Burnett, she also produced the Bible miniseries AD, which aired here on KSL. This wife and mother can now add best-selling author to her resume, too. Her book, Box of Butterflies, was released earlier this month and just became, drumroll, a New York Times bestseller. This woman has a special connection to Salt Lake City after spending so many years filming Touched by an Angel here, which makes her a special friend to all of us. Roma, welcome to Studio 5.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted to be back in Salt Lake in the great state of Utah.
You lived here for almost 10 years.
I did.
Time.
Yes, I did. And my daughter was born here at St. Mark's Hospital. Is that hospital still here?
Yes, it is, yes.
And, oh yeah, I loved living here. And I tell you, my crew was made up of many local citizens, and it was one of the nicest crews that I have ever had the pleasure to work with.
I want to talk about your book. Before we do, though, I do have to go down memory lane with you a little bit about your time here in Salt Lake filming Touched by an Angel. I know your dear co-star, Della Reese, passed away in November.
She did, yes.
We sense such a special connection between you two through the screen, but one might think, oh, they're great actresses, of course. Reading your book, diving into the pages of your story, which is so intimate and so vulnerable, you sense this motherly figure that she really was to you.
She was. She came into my life as a mother, and the relationship that you might have seen on screen through the characters of Tess and Monica was reflected very much in the love, the genuine, authentic love that we felt for each other off screen. And she was a mother to me. You know, as I tell in my book, I was a girl without a mother. My mother had died unexpectedly when I was just 10 years of age. And while we were filming Touched by an Angel together here in Salt Lake City, Della got the phone call that her only daughter had passed away unexpectedly. And not long after that, we took a walk together, and she took me in her arms and she said, you know, baby, God is just amazing, because I always knew that he brought me into your life because you needed a mother. She said, I just didn't realize that he was bringing you into my life because I was going to need a baby girl. Will you be my daughter? I said, yes. She said, then I am your mama.
I love that. She became your own daughter's godmother then,
She did. She was godmother to Riley, and they have a very special relationship. And she's just an extraordinary mentor and, you know, a courageous, beautiful spirit. We would call her to the set, Brooke, maybe 15 or 20 minutes before she was due to film, because it took her that long to hug everybody.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I mean everybody. She hugged the guy that was washing the floor as equally as she would hug the star of the show.
Amazing.
She just was a great lover of people.
You write about playing the role of Monica in your book, saying that that role became so much more than a profession to you. You say, playing an angel for almost 10 years truly changed me. It touched my heart deeply and strengthened my faith as well. I was touched in the book by a particular story you told, an angelic moment, if you will, where you were at Primary Children's Medical Center serving, and you walked in on a grieving parents in probably the worst moment of their life, but they lit up when they saw you.
Yes, they did. It was I had used to pop into the hospital up there thinking I could maybe cheer up some of the parents of the little babies who were gravely ill, and I was walking by a room when the door opened, and clearly a gust of grief came out of the room where a child had just passed. And I tried to make myself very small to give this family the dignity of their moment. And the mother spotted me and she said, Monica. Now, Monica was the name of the angel I played. She said, Monica, I prayed that the angels would come for my baby, and here you are. And I just held her in my arms, and I just prayed with her and just held her. When I got home that evening, I called Della. I was understandably upset. And Della, always wise, always knew the right thing to say. And she said, you know, baby, if we're going to be used in this show for a higher purpose, we just got to get out of the way. That lady didn't need an actress. She needed an angel. I said, I know. She thought that God had sent me there. And Della said, and who said he didn't? you know? And so we went on through the show, as you know, Brooke, had over 20 million people tuned in each week for a message of hope, a message of faith, a message of remembering that there is a God, that he loves us, that he wants to be part of our lives. I was privileged as a woman of faith to play the role, but over the course of the 10 years of playing her, because she was such a good listener, Monica, she had compassion, she had empathy, she listened with her heart, not just with her ears. And I think through playing the role, she made me a better listener, a better friend, a better mother, a better wife.
You describe, I mean, the vibe that show carried. This book carries that same vibe of hopefulness and of faith. I told you before we came on set today, if I can set the scene, I read it earlier this week. My husband was involved in a really intense basketball game on TV. My feet were on his lap, and I was open palm, just swiping away tears. It's very vulnerable. It's very intimate. You describe, you know, heartbreaking moments, losing your mom at the age of 10, losing your father right before you completed acting school. There was a line in the book that summarized your faith, even during those times of loss. She wrote, "If I have learned anything, I know this to be true. There is no growth without pain."
Yes, I think that's true. I think it is unfortunately true. And I think that one of the reasons, I mean, the butterfly had significance for me because it showed up at my mom's grave as a comforting symbol that, you know, that my mom's spirit was still around, that God was always with me. So the butterfly has continued to show up throughout my life in extraordinary ways. But if you consider the journey of the butterfly, and how it begins its life as a caterpillar. And in order to get free from the cocoon, it has to struggle. And sometimes it's the very struggle that brings the strength that we need to fly. And so that's what I mean by that. You know, sometimes there's no way through it but going through it. And I wrote this book specifically when I would sit down in the mornings and I would just pray that this book would find its way into the hands of people that need encouragement, that need hope, that need a reminder, that need a little bit of comfort. And, you know, I've wove it to get a deeply personal story. I feel very vulnerable having told my story with all the, you know, in its triumphs and in its tragedies, you know. And yes, the growth often came through the painful moments.
There is an entire chapter, an entire section, and I should say there's beautiful poetry and quotes woven within the pages, but this chapter on gratitude jumped out at me. And you describe a practice that you say you first started here in Salt Lake, actually, filming Touched by an Angel.
Yes.
It's an action of gratitude that begins the second you open your eyes.
The minute I open my eyes, somebody had shared with me when I lived up here that when you get out of bed in the morning and your first foot hits the floor, thank, and your second foot hits the floor, you. And as you walk into the bathroom, whatever you're doing in the morning, just to say, thank you, God, the whole way in. And it just sets your day. Because you know and I know, we all live in such a busy world. Stuff going on, we've got kids, we've got work, we've got, you know, partners, we've got, it's just busy. We're all on the phone, you know, the stuff coming in. It can take your peace of mind. But if you can reset yourself into gratitude, to always remember, it's hard to be grateful and anxious at the same time.
That's true.
And it's just a real world action, you know, that can just start your whole day in the right frame of mind.
I love that. We love you. It's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful book, and you will be signing copies tonight at the First Baptist Church, correct?
I am. You know, I insisted my publisher. I said, you've got to get Salt Lake on my book signing tour. I'm going down. I hope that fans of Touched by an Angel will come down. I'm hoping that some of my former crew will show up, and I'll get a chance to see everybody. I'm signing books. It's a beautiful book for Easter. It's a beautiful book maybe for Mother's Day. But anybody in your life that needs a little bit of encouragement, Box of Butterflies, I hope, will be that for you.
We love it. We'll be giving away a copy too on our Instagram page, so be sure to check that out later today. You are just a treasured friend. Thank you so much for making time for us today.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.